Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be attempting to do a story time. I have never done one of these, so please bear with me. I do find that when I'm yapping, I need to do something with my hands, so today I'm just going to be getting ready for the day. I'm going to be doing my makeup, doing my hair. It doesn't have anything to do with the story that we're telling, but that's okay. Who doesn't love a good get ready with me? So if you read the title of this video, you already know that this is going to be a story time about when I got a tattoo in Japan. As you can see, I am a pretty moderately tattooed person. Some people would even say heavily tattooed. I have a ton of hours of work on me. I have so many tattoo experiences. However, I've never gotten a tattoo out of the country before, and especially not while on vacation. So I was very excited, also a little bit nervous, and I'll tell you why. So getting a tattoo generally sucks, and I don't just mean like getting the tattoo, like yes, it hurts to actually get a tattoo, but the healing is actually what's worse for me, and I'm a really big baby when it comes to healing tattoos. I'm very susceptible to what we call tattoo flu. It's essentially like your immune system is really weak after having like a large wound on your body, and you get flu-like symptoms. So for like the next 5 days after a large tattoo, I'm basically out of commission. So that being said, when you're planning a tattoo on a vacation, you really have to go into it knowing that you're sacrificing a good chunk of your vacation. However, I did not mind sacrificing part of my vacation because I knew that I was getting tattooed by one of my ultimate dream tattoo artists. You've probably heard of Laura Anunnaki. She often goes really viral on TikTok and Instagram for her very colorful, vibrant anime style tattoos. And for a while, she was living in Los Angeles, and I tried to get a tattoo from her. We worked like mere minutes away from each other, but yeah, our schedules just never lined up. So unfortunately, it didn't work out in Los Angeles. Recently, she just moved to Osaka, Japan. When I found out that I would be traveling to Osaka in October, I thought, okay, this is perfect. I'm finally going to get a tattoo from Laura Anunnaki. So I emailed her my concept and my dates, and we went back and forth. I'm gonna tell you the concept of the tattoo, and I will show you pictures and video of the tattoo and everything later on. But okay, so I really wanted to get a Lolita fashion tattoo, and I figured that Laura Anunnaki would be a great person to do that. She is someone who wears J fashion herself. You know, I heard that she really wanted to do more like Lolita and like girly fashion in her tattoos, so it was perfect. I chose the character Momoko from Kamikaze Girls. If you haven't seen the movie Kamikaze Girls, turn this video off right now and go watch Kamikaze Girls. I personally love the character because I feel like she's the perfect representation of the duality of a sweet Lolita. I think most sweet Lolitas can relate to Momoko on some kind of level. Like, yes, she's very cute and she's got this like sugary sweet exterior, but she's also got like a little bit of the depression. She's just like me for real. Yes, that's the design that I gave Laura, and it was going to be like a portrait of Momoko, sort of like bust up, maybe surrounded by like cabbages, just as a reference to the cabbage scene. If you haven't seen Kamikaze Girls, like none of this makes sense to you, but go watch it, you'll understand. So we ended up choosing a date that was near the end of my Osaka trip. I think it was like 3 days before we flew home to Los Angeles. So I was like, yeah, that's great. It gives me 3 days to just post up in the hotel and bed rot so that I'm not flying home on a 12-hour flight with a giant gaping wound on my leg. So yeah, I think everything was pretty much set to go. Anyway, so our vacation was split into 2 parts. First part was Tokyo. We were in Tokyo for about 2 weeks, and then we were going to travel to Osaka and spend about another week and a half there. We had been to Osaka before, but we'd only done it for like 3 days. That was not nearly enough time, like not nearly enough time. We were like rushing to get like all of the sites in. And we just wanted to do it a little longer this time. So I think we did like 7 or 8 days this time. And the thing about Tokyo for me and my partner is we've been I want to say like 3 or 4 times now. So we pretty much have like Tokyo down. We've got our regular things that we do. It's still like fun and exciting, but Osaka, we were very excited for this trip. So we do Tokyo. Tokyo is a blast. I did a pop-up shop with my Violet in Harajuku at 6% Doki Doki, and that was so much fun. We spent 2 weeks just like shopping, eating a lot of food. This is gonna come in later. Okay, now we're gonna fast forward to like the last 2 or 3 days of our stay in Tokyo. I believe it was the last day of the Maya Violet pop-up with 6% Doki Doki. And the night before, me and my partner had gone out to Kabukicho, and we went to this really cool izakaya where we ate like a bunch of yakitori and we did a lot of drinking, and we didn't get home until like 4 or 5 in the morning. It was very, very late. We woke up the next day feeling like absolute dog shit, like the worst that we have ever felt in our entire lives. And like we had just been out all night. We're both, in our 30s, 40s. So we're not used to partying the way we used to. So we just kind of chalked it up to being really, really hungover. But then as the day progresses and we realize, like 5-6 hours have gone by since we woke up and we still cannot get out of bed. Like we cannot get out of bed to do anything. We can't keep food down. We can't even like drink water. We're in it bad. We were like, maybe this isn't just a hangover. Like maybe we got some sort of, flu, stomach bug, because there were a lot of people in Tokyo at this point, like tourists. A lot of people riding the trains with no masks, a lot of people sick, coughing just everywhere. So that was easily a possibility that we could be sick. Now, we would have stayed in bed for the entire day, but like I said, it was the last day of my pop-up at 6% Doki Doki. I had to go and get the remainder of my stock from the store and bring it back to our Airbnb, because guess what? The next day, we were going to Osaka. We were going to fly from Haneda to Kix Airport in Osaka. And I needed all of my luggage with me. Like, we weren't gonna go back to Tokyo. We were leaving Osaka straight to America. So we weren't gonna have another opportunity to go and grab all of our inventory. We muster up the courage, we get out of bed. I think we quickly realized that we could not brave the transit system in our state. Yeah, I think we got a cab. I think we got a cab to Harajuku, which was very expensive. I grabbed the stuff and we booked it straight back to the Airbnb with all of the stuff. When we got to the Airbnb, we packed up all of our stuff in just like a whirlwind, because we hadn't packed anything. We expected to have, all of that time that morning for packing, and we just couldn't get out of bed. So we packed all of our stuff. At this point, we were sure we had food poisoning. So we kind of went back in our memory, like, what did we eat yesterday? I know we went out and we drank a lot last night, but like, what did we eat? Because we went out with a friend at night and he also ate a ton of yakitori with us and he did not get sick. So we really don't think, like, with as sick as we are, this guy would have been sick too if he had shared a bad skewer with us. However, before we went out to Kabukicho, we were just killing time and we went to Kichijoji. We were just kind of thrifting. We went to the park. It was really nice. And we went to another yakitori place. Yeah, we went hard into yakitori this time for some reason. This is a yakitori stand that we had already been to on a previous trip. So, we didn't think anything of it. It is kind of it's a shack in the middle of a park. It's delicious, but it is not like a 5-star restaurant, I would say. And the thing about this place is they only have a handwritten menu. It's not in English, which is totally fine. Like some of the best food that we have in Japan, we just wing it. So we did that here. Our Google Translate was not picking up any of the handwriting, so we just kind of pointed at stuff. And there was one skewer. It was the last skewer we ate. And we're not quitters, even when maybe we should be. Because this skewer, we both bit into it and we were like, oh, that's a flavor. That might not be fully cooked. And my boyfriend even was like, oh, I think this is pork. And And we were like, it's fine, right? Like, we're in Japan. Like, they wouldn't do that to us. I think you know where this is going. The moral of the story is do not eat undercooked pork from a shack anywhere in the world. Just don't do it. It's not a good idea. Okay, so we realized it was the pork. At this point, we have to be at Haneda Airport in about like 6 hours. We try to get some sleep. Sleep is not happening. We're both having just like the worst symptoms. I don't want to get too graphic, but like if you've ever had really, really bad food poisoning, you know. It was really, really difficult to keep food down. And yeah, we just felt like absolute death. Honestly, if I could have stayed in that Airbnb for another 2 days and just sacrificed my plane ticket to Osaka and bought a new one, I absolutely would have. But yeah, that just wasn't gonna happen. Like the Airbnb needed us out for the next person, and yeah, we had no choice but to get on a plane with the worst food poisoning we've ever had in our lives. So we have a flight at 5 in the morning. Me and my partner have been existing only on konbini bread rolls at this point, so we're like starving, but we also cannot eat. We've somehow managed to like pack everything up, get ourselves into a cab. You know, we get to the airport and we're thinking like, you know, maybe once we get some real food in us, maybe we'll feel a little better. I have never had such nausea on a plane. It's only like a 2-hour plane ride, but I was like scared the entire time that I was gonna make a horrible scene on the plane. And the entire time, guys, I'm thinking, I have a tattoo in like 4 days. This has to be over by then. I can't sacrifice this tattoo. I've already put down $200. Like the $200 deposit is not a huge investment, but this is like a once in a lifetime opportunity. I don't want to pass it up. Yeah, I just have to be over this by the time my tattoo comes. So we get off the plane, we're in Haneda Airport, and like we're both so sick that we're like, we need to find a hospital. Like literally, we need to go to the hospital right now. I think that like we're in trouble. This might be worse than food poisoning. So I look up where the nearest hospital is. Thankfully, Kix has a hospital inside the airport. That was honestly a lifesaver. So we go and we get our bags. We find the little hospital at Kix, and the experience of going to the hospital in Japan was eye-opening as an American who has like really horrible healthcare, and also just like really nice. It was so nice. So we get there and they don't speak any English. They bring out an iPad, and on the iPad they're FaceTiming with a translator. So the translator speaks to us the entire time in English. It was so helpful. I'm really appreciative of the care that they gave us there. And they like give us like a little interview about our symptoms, and then they give us some antibiotics and anti-nausea medicine, and our hospital bill came out to $90, 90 US dollars. Both of us, like together. That would never happen in the US. That would have been like $500, seriously. Okay, I think I need to speed this up because we need to actually like get to the tattoo. So we take the nausea medicine and we take the antibiotic for the next, I think it was like 3 days. And yeah, our entire Osaka stay, bedridden. We were in bed the entire time. Like we got to explore Kyoto for like 1 day. It really like our symptoms came and went randomly, but they did not fully leave until we were back in America like 2 weeks later. It was crazy. I honestly think that we had like Giardia or something. It was awful. So yeah, we were bedridden for like 3 days, and it's coming up upon the time where I need to start preparing for my giant, massive tattoo. Because I forgot to tell you guys, Laura Anunnaki does not do small tattoos. She does 9 by 10 inch tattoos. Like that's standard for her. She does thigh tattoos or like giant upper arm tattoos. Her tattoos normally take like between 8 and 10 hours is what she said on the intake forms. So I was not just preparing for any old tattoo. This was a full day of tattooing. So it's the night before the tattoo, and we are in Kyoto because we had booked a really fancy dinner with a friend of ours who lives up there, and we really didn't want to waste the reservation. So yeah, we went to Kyoto, we got a love hotel at the end of the night, and my plan was to travel back to Osaka the next morning so that I could get the tattoo, and then my partner was staying in Kyoto so that he could go and visit a yuzu farm. Yeah, I just remember being in that love hotel and just feeling like I love love hotels. That's something you need to know about me. Like, they're so cheesy and kitschy and sometimes, yes, gross, but I love them. And I just remember being like, I don't want to be here. I want to be in my nice hotel bed, and I don't want to have to get tattooed tomorrow. And it was just like the most miserable feeling. But you know what? I pushed through, and I woke up the next morning and I traveled the hour back to Tokyo from Osaka. I remember I got on the wrong train and I didn't have a special reserved ticket, and I felt so bad, but like the lady came up to me and she was like, in the translation app, she was like, it's not very nice to not have your ticket on you. And I was like, I'm so sorry. And she's like, okay, well, just when you get off to the next stop, they're gonna make you pay for a new ticket. Yeah, I literally had a like metro police escort at the next stop. I felt so embarrassed. But yeah, okay, so I'm back in Osaka. I go straight from the train to Invasion Club JP, which is where Laura tattoos at. And at this point, I'm not feeling great. I still am absolutely feeling the effects of my food poisoning. But I am also taking like a mixture of drugs, and I do not recommend that anyone do this if they're getting a tattoo. I am very experienced. Still don't recommend it. I was taking like a heavy duty anti-nausea, and also I was taking codeine because you can get that over the counter in Japan, and it was really, really helping some of our symptoms. Don't judge me. So if I remember correctly, I get to the tattoo shop at like 11 or 11:30. That's when we scheduled to meet. And Laura's running a little behind, but that's totally fine. I had to go and get like another little bread snack because that's all I can keep down. Finally, we meet up. She's there. She shows me like the drawing concept, and we're very excited. She still has a bit of finalizing to do on the stencil, so she goes in her drawing room for a bit, and I stay on the couch out in the lobby, and that actually turns into 4 hours of waiting because the tattoo was so detailed and intricate. She had a lot more than just like a couple of minutes to do on the outlines, or on the stencil. So yeah, I was waiting there in the lobby with food poisoning for 4 hours, and that's before the tattoo even started. And that's like absolutely not to disparage her. This is not my first rodeo. Every tattoo artist I've ever worked with has been like, you have a time when you meet, and then you have a time when you start tattooing, and they're usually hours apart. That's pretty normal, but like at that time, it was just so rough. So we get started tattooing at around 3 o'clock, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it was spicy. It was my entire thigh, and if anyone tells you that tattoos don't hurt, they're lying. They're just lying to you. Tattoos are very, very painful, especially if you haven't gotten tattooed in a long time. Like I haven't. I think it's been like 2 or 3 years since I've gotten tattooed last. I did feel like at a point, the nausea and the like food poisoning symptoms almost made it more tolerable. I know that's kind of crazy to say, but like the nausea kind of gave me something to focus on that wasn't the tattoo pain. I don't know, people who get tattooed are nuts, dude. They're nuts. So I think overall my tattoo ended up being, I'll have to measure it, but I think it's like 10 by 6 inches. It's a massive tattoo. It's my entire thigh. And it's so packed with detail. Are you guys ready for how long this tattoo took? This tattoo took a total of not 9 hours, not 10 hours, not 11 or 12, not 13. 14 hours! This tattoo took 14 hours in one sitting. I think we got one meal break, and I was finally able to keep down food. Johnny came to visit me while I was in the middle of my tattoo. It was like 1 in the morning, and we ordered Uber Eats from Yoshinoya, and it was so good. It felt like the best thing that I had eaten my entire trip in Japan, because it was something that wasn't just bread or bananas from the kombini. I will say, I do not think that I would have been able to sit for that long of a tattoo if it had not been for numbing spray, which I'm so thankful that Laura uses. I'm sorry if that makes me sound like a baby, but tattoos are not easy, especially not ones that last 12 to 14 hours. So when we got done with the tattoo, I think it was about 7 in the morning. So that's like accounting for all of the like breaks that we took, the meal breaks and everything. Yeah, we both got out of there at 7 in the morning. So I was in that tattoo shop from 10:30 a.m. to 7 a.m. the next day. It was a whole day of my trip in the tattoo shop. It was a beautiful tattoo shop, so that's something. But yeah, never in my life did I expect to be a person who would sit for 14 hours for a tattoo while having food poisoning. The rest of the trip was great. Actually, the tattoo was one of the easiest tattoos I've ever healed. I don't know if that's because the thigh is just like a really easy place to heal, or if it's due to Laura's technique, but it was one of the easiest healing processes that I've had for a tattoo. Like I said though, we did have our food poisoning symptoms up until like a week later when we were back in the US, so unfortunately we didn't get a chance to really explore Osaka like we were hoping to. Like, we probably explored it even less than we did before, and we had less time because for the rest of the time we were just like stuck in bed. I think after I got my tattoo, we left the hotel a total of maybe like 4 times in the next 4 days. Yeah. It really sucked, and it really put like a damper on our vacation. It felt like we were kind of ripped off. Like, our vacation was really fun, and I'm really grateful to be able to take a vacation. Up until the point that we got sick, we were really expecting this to be our last vacation to Japan for like the next few years, just because it's getting really expensive. We have a lot of old cats at home that really need our care. But yeah, after being sick for like a full week of our trip, we feel like we need a do-over. So we'll see if I can get back to Japan this year. I might try and get another tattoo by Laura Anunnaki, this time not sick, hopefully. I debated whether or not I was going to share this information, and it might get cut out of the video, but I don't know, I kind of want to be transparent about what I paid for the tattoo, but I do want to say that like, just because I paid a certain price doesn't mean that that's going to be what your quote would be, or like, you know, artists' prices, they can change depending on like the piece, depending on like the skill level that it requires, depending on the placement. So I don't want anyone to think that this is like the baseline for Laura's prices. Yes, so this tattoo did take a total of 14 hours. Okay, the grand total was 360,000 Japanese yen, which translates to 2,412 US dollars. And to be quite honest, I do think that that's 100% worth it. It's a full day session. Tattoo artists generally, in my experience, range from like $150 to $300 an hour. So yeah, that falls right within there. Would I do it again? Absolutely. I love her work. The piece turned out beautiful. I'm obsessed with it. And I will say, even though she's in Japan and it's not customary to tip in Japan, because I am American and because Laura came from America and from Mexico, I did tip. It felt kind of weird to not tip, so I always opt to tip in situations where it's like up in the air. So I did tip as well. Okay, I'm gonna leave you guys with some pictures and video of the final tattoo. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time, and yeah, if you liked it, I'll try and do more in the future. Maybe someday I will get around to doing a tattoo tour, but I do have like a lot of tattoos and a lot of them are unfinished, so it feels weird to like show them off. But if that's something you guys really want to see, I will consider doing that. Okay, that's the story of me getting a tattoo in Japan with food poisoning. Thank you guys for sticking around. Thanks for hanging out with me, and yeah, I'll see you next time.